welcome. I deserve that
one. I'm almost sorry.
Welcome to Lizards and Locations. This is our special Patreon special. One might call it special because you paid for it, and that makes you also special, but you're special. So, we're going to be playing some DoGS, which is a remake of an old game system called Dogs in the Vineyard. So this one's called DoGS, which stands for Dice Pool and Moral Predicament-Based Generic Role-Playing System. Thanks to K.N. Oba? How do you guys pronounce it? O-B-A-U-G-H.
I don't know.
That would have to have it.
Oba? Obo?
Abo.
Yeah.
Sorry for messing up your name.
Yes.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah. Really, really cool system. Super excited. This is our first time playing it, so we're excited to do a little one-shot about it.
If you're wondering that moral does not start with an O, you are correct.
It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. That's a fair point.
Or
Wait for Mary to show the cover.
Oh, I wasn't going to give any more comments.
There you go.
I love oral roleplay.
Oh, good.
It takes a, we're going to be doing a little homebrew system with it, which we'll get back to right after this break, so cue music. All right, welcome back. We're ready to play the DoGS system. The DoGS that we're going to be using for this are going to be called Department of Geosupernatural Services. Okay, so that's the agency you guys are going to be working with. Some key takeaways is each player is going to be a detective of this agency. The few things you should know about a detective is they're highly trained, right? You guys have been doing this. Even people who are green still have some type of training. You know what I mean? Like you had to go through a rigorous set. There is complete jurisdiction allowed to you, as long as it's geosupernatural, not xenosupernatural. Okay. The third thing that's really important is that you guys are feared, respected, and lauded. All right. People know about you. You know, if we think about, Men in Black-esque movie, right? They're kind of like you're not supposed to know about them. People know about you guys. That you guys are, when dogs come in, it's like, yes, okay, things can get better. But also, oh shit. Like, what's going on here that this is going on with? So that's kind of one of the things to think about. Supernatural forces and creatures are commonplace and are only illegal when they commit crimes. Okay, so like you can be vampire, you can be werewolf, that's fine, as long as you're committing to a strict regimen of a good life. The detectives can be supernatural themselves, and maybe some of our detectives might be. Famous myths, legends, fairy tales, etc. are real and may still exist. They will. World is called Retha, R-E-T-H-A, which is a parallel universe of Earth. In this Earth called Retha, there's steampunk like Victorian era, maybe even like diesel punk, really, in technology. The time period we're looking right now is about over 500 years since the Pendragon Peace Treaty. The peace treaty ended what we call the War of Fables. Okay? And what's going on here is that we will be taking place in the setting of the Parable Union, which is kind of like the biggest union of region. They are an oligarchy and how they rule. Their two main agencies are the DoGS, you guys, the Department of Geosupernatural Services, as well as the DoGSes, the Department of Xenosupernatural Services. There is another type of union, if you will. If you're not a part of the parallel union, you're called the allegoricals. Allegoricals are these non-union societies in which they do not have to listen to the dogs or the doxes, right? They're not under their jurisdiction, even though dogs and doxes often go there and clean up the places, if you will. Your group has been sent on a mission to District Grimm. District Grimm, the dogs have been asked to investigate the estate of the fabled Victor Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein, you guys would have an idea who this person is. He's a consultant, and he is supportive of scientific advances for dogs. He's kind of Tony Stark-esque.
I'm assuming Grimm is with 2 M's.
Yes, 2 M's. Yep. So he's very, very Tony Stark-esque. And from what you've been told to investigate, there have been reports of seditious unions. In other words, people are talking about either combining forces to revolt against the parallel union or somehow bring in more allegoricals into the parallel union and cause a revolution there. So whether it's a third union or if it's some type of allegorical takeover, we're not sure. But the parallel union seems to be in jeopardy at this mansion. And Victor Frankenstein is a pretty trusted person. So you guys take the invite extremely seriously. There have been people going missing, people of famous backgrounds and histories that the fabled Merlin has gone missing. Okay, you've heard about the Victor Frankenstein's parties before. They're very, very lavish. They're extremely very elegant parties in which people of all types of backgrounds get together and share stories and talk about how days have changed and in the future. But the idea of any type of allegorical sedition would be, extremely against what you guys would want here. So with that being said, any questions about this kind of setting before I kind of get to the characters? So once again, this is the Grimm District. You guys are part of the Parallel Union. Allegoricals, not so good. Okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll go ahead and start. Well, does anybody really feel confident about their character they want to lead off with, or should I pick a victim instead of a volunteer?
I figured you would just go like clockwise.
I figure we could go bit by bit so that we don't have to describe a whole sheet
Yeah, that's fine.
at a time.
You mean go backgrounds first and stuff like that? Okay,
background,
that's fine.
Description, and then get to traits and.
That sounds good. We can kind of mix and match that. So what background did you choose, Mary, for your character? And what is your character's name?
My character's name is Jasper Watts.
All right, so Detective Jasper Watts. Very, very cool.
Yes. He's very uncomfortable with the idea of being detective. He was educated in investigative journalism, so this is very out of his wheelhouse, to say the least. I picked a specialized connected, so a character that has a lot of things going on for very focused things, and connected in that I have a lot of interpersonal relationships that I can draw on to employ, for better or worse. I am a young black man, freshly graduated. I dress very well, though not extravagantly. And I am very slight. I was not trained for detective work or athletic anything of any kind. And I'm more known for my wits.
Okay. Very, very cool. What would you say is your highest dice pool that you put into it? What would the dice pool amount be about?
Like for stats?
Yeah, for stats.
Mind, for sure.
Mind. Okay. You put 5d6, 66?
66.
66? Okay, yeah, so considerable. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. We'll go on to Kat. What do you have here?
So I'm playing Samantha Wesson, and I picked the rocky background with the train focus.
Okay.
So I'm a tall brunette woman who wears jeans and flannels and some really nice boots. Put a lot of money into those because they really get me around the world,
Mm-hmm.
And I have a pretty, bounce around background where I was trained with the dogs from a very young age, and then I left because it really wasn't for me, but they just keep coming back and asking for my help, and, I'm back for now.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, and then Samantha, what was your last name?
Wesson?
Wesson? Okay, Wesson?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What was your highest dice trait you put in? Dice
Mind.
stat. Mine, and would you put in that one?
7.
7. Oh,
76.
shit. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Andrew. Who we got?
My detective's name is Praxiteles from ancient Greek myth.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of him? Maybe you have. It's hard to say. He has picked a rocky background from a part we'll get into later.
Okay.
And his focus is spiritual. As for, again, we'll get into the actual nitty-gritty of that at a later date as well. As for his appearance, it's different for everyone. It's almost like what you think he looks like manifests in his appearance. And like I said, it is different for everyone.
Huh.
What do you think of when you think of a Greek man? That's what he looks like.
He looks like an asshole to me.
Very possible.
I wouldn't tell him this though.
Very cool.
As for my stats, they are the top one is body at 5d6. Next one is mind at 4d6, and then soul and spirit both have 3.
Okay. And you said you're, ancient being, right?
Yes,
So you would have been there from the War of Fables.
I am from classical Hellenic Greece, so I have been around for at least 2 millennia.
Okay.
So I would have been part of this War of Fables.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would imagine you're probably there at the Pendragon Peace Accords. Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I've
cool.
had a heavy hand in much of the formative aspects of this particular world.
Okay. Very cool. Move on to Nate.
My name is Hamish Cunningham, and I've been doing this shit for 30 years now. 45 years old. Yes, I was here when I was 15. Family was part of this shit from generations back. Hamish Cunninghams have been part of this since as far back as we know. Wear a trench coat, of course, got the mustache. And I got my trusty scatter shot. I know how to do a little bit of lightning. It's a little cutting edge specialty, and I use that to focus my scatter shot at people.
Where is the mythical Tampa of Bay?
Nowhere good, nowhere pleasant, but we get shit done. My background is Rocky, of course, and I'm a trained professional as my focus. As I mentioned, I got the lightning ability, and I'm a pretty well-rounded person. Mind, body, soul are kind of all the same at 46. My weakest is my body at 3d6 because I've been doing this shit too long.
Very nice. So definitely veteran detective. Yeah, you've been doing it for a little bit. Trained plenty of greens.
I know what I'm doing, and I don't get time to train these greenhorns. I just gotta pick it up or die trying.
Okay. I'd say based on your time here, you've probably heard of Praxiteles. Is that how you said it?
Praxiteles.
Oh yeah, I know very well about Praxiteles.
All right.
Looks like an asshole to me.
Okay. Yeah. So that would make sense that you would probably be one of the training officers to work with Jasper Watts, kind of being put in charge of that, making sure things work. You've had a lot of your training done already, but this is like one of your first field missions, I would assume.
You're
right?
telling me they might have a relationship of some sort?
It might be. It might be something if you choose to go that route.
I might put a 1d4 in.
The as far as you as a consultant, you've been back and forth with this. Your family's been involved with the dogs as well?
Yes, absolutely. My brother and my father, who's passed now.
Okay. Your brother's still alive? Your brother?
Yeah, no, he's really good at what he does.
Okay.
Kind of perfect, really.
Okay. Cool. So let's go. We talk background, we talk focus, right? So let's look at what are some of the traits that you guys picked up? What do you have for traits?
My traits are good. I picked, I know the rules, which I put in parentheses. Actually,
Very cool.
another trait I've got is I'm curious to a fault.
Okay.
I know it was. And I'm quick on my feet, figuratively and literally.
All right.
I can.
Gotta dodge
Kick
me when I
balls.
throw shit at him.
I'm quite the dodger.
Very nice.
So I really need to save the day at all costs, and
Don't be a hero.
I am surprisingly trusting despite some rocky background. But the best way to save the world, research, hands down. Always do your research, and honestly, I think I'm pretty good at this, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, Smith is just so freaking fantastic. So I always feel a little bit behind.
Okay. What about you for your traits?
All right, for the traits for Praxiteles, the gifted of Apollo. First of all, he is part of the backstory is he is a exiled or ostracized from the Athenian culture as a basically a disgraced oracle of Ghelfi.
Mm-hmm.
So the trait is ostracized from Athens. So it's basically like this is an Athenian kind of like background where he's from. He could kind of draw from that knowledge pool.
Okay.
Next one is when he was ostracized from Athens, his first stop was Sparta, where he was trained as a warrior of Sparta.
Okay.
And like from the Peloponnesian Wars.
Yeah, so definitely a warrior.
Yes, absolutely. As a fun little thing, because Apollo is a sun god, he is scared of the dark.
Okay, that's
A
pretty
little bit
great.
of 1d4 of scared of the dark. But he has excellent aim with whatever he chooses to be aiming with.
Okay.
It's just excellent aim. Next one is the Greekest Greek, which kind of ties into the what is a Greek? What does Greek guy look like? Who knows? But I'm the most Greek
You are the
you've ever
Greekest.
seen.
Yeah,
The Greekest Greek is a 1d8 talent that I have.
very nice.
So very strong in the Greekest Greek, and then as a final rounding out, I have friendly as a 1d4. So
Okay.
I'm personable.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely some. You have soul up there in your list, or
Soul is not necessarily high, only because there is only so much like
Dice you can
things
spread.
I can spread.
Yeah,
Like this isn't like D&D where I can just be like, oh, I rolled an 18 and 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 I'm gonna put it everywhere.
gotcha. Yeah,
You know, it's not bad, but it's not necessarily good. He doesn't have a lot of like that kind of thing. He's very focused into making sure his body is a temple. He's very important that he's very active. And then his mind is high because Apollo is a god of knowledge. So he's very, if someone brings him a book or some knowledge that he would like to consume, he's not as smart as someone who would like fully dedicate themselves to like a scholarly path, but he's definitely not like the big idiot.
yeah. Okay,
He's very like, I have the force and I know when to use it.
okay. Good idea that. What about you? Hamish, right? Hamish.
Hamish. Yeah,
Okay.
Hamish.
Hey, miss.
Well, I've been doing this so long, I know just about everybody out there. They know me for better or worse, and you know, a lot of the times we go way back. So my first trait is we go way back, and it's supposed to apply to situations of like, I kind of know the person, I know what they're about. I've either worked with them or I've fought with them or something with our history has led me to an understanding that gives me an advantage of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
My next trait is I need a favor. So I got a bit of a. I've been doing this so long. People know that I deal in intrigue, and you know, sometimes I need a favor. I need some things done. You know I've done that shit for you before. You know I do it again. You know I've been doing this shit for too long. So he deals in a lot of intrigue. One of the other things is I can do this with my eyes closed. Again, experienced. He knows what he's doing. He's done it 1,000 times. He's able to kind of read a situation pretty quickly. Like he's just like, this is old hat. Like whatever.
How many hats has Hamish gone through?
Too many to count. Honestly, he doesn't have a personal attachment to a hat because they're often riddled with bullets or something.
I'm sure at some point he did the Harrison Ford, took a stapler and
it's just got like multiple statements. And then my last trait is you already know I win. Come on, it's me. It's Hamish Cunningham. You know the Cunningham legacy. You know I'm gonna win this.
very cool. So he's got that cockiness to him,
Yeah,
too, right?
so a bit of cockiness, but it's not like
It's
not-
earned from a
He doesn't-
beginning.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's arrogance. I would say that it's like
It's confidence.
it's because of confidence.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not really. It's mostly confidence because I'd say cocky comes with like oh I don't really necessarily I can't really back it up.
Back it up,
He can
yeah.
back it up.
Yeah, cool.
Because he's still here. He's still alive.
Yeah.
So he's got a number of things that he keeps with him at all times. One was the dog radio pack. So
Mhm.
he's like I mentioned before, lightning. He uses lightning as one of his powers.
Yeah.
So he powers the radio pack with his lightning. And then he has a dog dex, which is just his compendium of profiles that he's built on all the people over the like past however long, he's got a profile in you, guaranteed.
What's it called? This profile?
The dog decks.
Okay, dog decks. Cool. It's almost like a bingo book, if you will. Like almost like a
Almost like a bingo book.
Bingo
Yeah,
book.
it's
well.
he's
Like a Pokédex.
something of a something like a. He also carries around his trusty multi-tool, the Retha army tool.
Gotta catch
Nice.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. So it's called the dog decks, though, right? The
dog
DD, huh?
Nope, the DD.
Yep.
The dog deck.
Double D's.
Double D's.
And then, of course, his trusty scatter shot. It's the 3-barreled, like, scatter shot that he carries that he powers with his lightning.
Okay.
So,
Very cool. I'm picturing those. I mean, they used to make these old pistols that were like 3-barrel, you know, and they were super unreliable. But I'm picturing like the 3-barrel, but channeling with a little meter on it, you know.
Old, unreliable.
Yeah. Very cool. So you got
Well, let's go around and do the equipment.
because you got yours. So what do you got for your equipment?
I'm gonna start with my powers actually.
Okay. Okay.
I picked telepathy and invisibility.
Ooh. Okay.
You know, just little things that a journalist might want to have.
Do you have a pretty good control of your powers? Like
The telepathy, yes.
Okay.
The invisibility,
Okay.
I have 3d6 in telepathy and 1d8 in invisibility.
Okay.
So the invisibility is a little bit.
Sometimes I'm translucent.
Sometimes I'm just a little bit see-through.
I can still see you, kid.
But. And then my equipment, I have my handy-dandy notebook. It's very nice. It contains a shorthand summary of everything everyone tells me. And it's shorthand that only I can read.
Ooh, very useful.
I have a stun gun because I may be combat trained, but they all decided I was very bad at it and I don't need a weapon. And so I just have something to get away. And then I have 2 flasks of mysterious contents that I am allowed to decide at the time when I need it.
The time of
once I've decided what's in them, I don't get to change. So I've got a big flask and a regular flask.
Okay. Very cool.
So for powers, I've got a little bit of telekinesis and some pretty strong demon slaying powers.
Okay.
And I also get a couple prophecies every now and then. They're usually really morbid and macabre and about death. It's not great. But I also carry around an excellent handgun, a big bottle of demon's blood, for no particular reason. A tattered family notebook. It's where my dad and my brother have given me some notes to research, which works pretty well. My trusty flannel shirt, which I'm definitely wearing right now.
Mhm.
And some handmade explosives.
Very nice. You mentioned a big, was it flask or bottle?
Bottle of
Oh, demon's blood. Is it big and excellent or just big?
Just big.
Okay.
I mean, it's generic.
It's excellent to you, right?
Yeah. I guess.
My notebook is excellent. I forgot to mention that.
Okay, excellent notebook.
Oh, did I need to say what my items were?
Mine's kind of tattered.
We can get back to where yours are. Yeah. Andrew, what do you got for you? Powers.
Proxidelius, his powers, he's, as you said, a very spiritual oracle, but he has retained his powers of prophecy.
Okay.
Very powerful prophetic powers. 2d10, the whole thing's going into prophecy.
Okay.
So he's very, if there's a way that he could have like lived through all of these things, it's because he probably knows what's going to happen before anyone else does.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's smart enough to kind of know what to do with that information as well. The second one is healing. Apollo is a god of healing, so he's got that power as well to kind of make sure that his friends and his compatriots have not. He can bring them back from a dangerous situation. Another one is sunlight. So anything that needs to be revealed or anything that needs to be purified, anything that sunlight might be able to do, he can shed light on a situation. He can do that kind of thing. Like anything, it would almost be a good thing for like the invisibility. He might be able to reveal something with his powers of sunlight. And then the last one I have is perfect pitch, which I put down 2d4. So he he can hear what's happening. He's heard so much music over the years, and Greeks had such a important thing with poetry and music. So he knows how to identify not only music but like the tone of your voice, what you're thinking, when you're saying these things, how to interpret sounds in a very precise way.
It's very insightful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not God of knowledge, God of...
Yeah.
And then for his equipment, he has a large, very fine, like, masterworked collapsible spear.
Okay.
And that he can use either as a close range or extended into a long range, throwing basically a javelin.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's
Greek. Yeah.
So he uses a spear into the sword, very Greek. He has
the Greekest of the Greek, actually.
Yeah, the Greekest Greek you've ever found, really.
Yeah.
It's
really
impressive.
big and excellent spear.
Yeah, it's very big and very excellent collapsible spear. He also has that old Greek like armor, like they're just basically a human torso on top of another human torso, and it's just this shining brass because he is the brass of the dog unit, like the
like up there.
Yeah, he's the top brass, so he's got a brass armor on. It's just ancient armor. It's not super good. It's like I thought it was a 1d6, but it is very like iconic and very like representative of his rank. He also has a horse that he's named Perseus after the ancient hero, and very reliable, very standard horse. And he also has a small dagger that's broken, but it has the small insignia of Artemis that was given to him by his sister that he broke, but keeps as a keepsake.
Making name tags.
Yeah, the name tag for himself.
It's like the at the detective desk.
Yeah,
like it's the name.
Detective. And I don't have a lot of relationships. The one relationship that I do have is with my sister, who is a blessed of Artemis. So like the twin gods, and like my twin is also blessed.
Okay.
I imagine she would also be right there with me, top brass at DoGS.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love the idea that you being like a top brass. I kind of picture this idea of this case that you guys are being sent on is so truly important to the Parable Union that they need to send founding members.
If I'm there, it is a top priority.
Yeah, so you probably don't do as much field work anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah, but like now, this is a big deal. Okay.
But I'm very diligent in my training. Like, there's not a day that I don't. It's not something that like, oh, you haven't done it in years, old man. Like, no.
Yeah.
He's out there with the trainees every day.
Yeah, and to kind of put that in perspective, you have one of the top brass. You have an extremely well-recognized veteran, right, who's very much proven themselves. You have a consultant who they're bringing back. You know what I mean? Like, they need this person to be back in this for this. And then they throw in the greenhorn, and like, that's kind of intimidating, but they must also see something in you, right? Because, they're not going to throw in just anybody. There has to be someone that has potential here. So that's kind of an interesting aspect to this. Nate, did you want to tell us?
There's only one way to get experience.
Nate, did you want to tell us about how you classified those items that you have?
It's killing people.
Oh.
Like, were any of them excellent or big or broken?
Yeah, I did so the laser scatter shot that I have I made it excellent, the 2d6.
Okay, yeah.
And then the dog dex, it's just an ordinary item. The Retha army tool I made, actually I made that ordinary as well. But the dog radio pack, that was, wait, what's the 1d8?
So
what is big?
It's a
large.
really big pack.
Yeah, it's a very big pack, because it's like, I'm thinking we're in a steampunk, diesel punk kind of thing. It's powered by the electricity that I generate for myself. So I'm just like I'm channeling that into the pack, and then I have it's probably got one of those like big receivers that you with the cord and everything. You pick it up and you're kind of like calling in whatever, right? Like Detective Hamish Cunningham here. Like,
is he like a communications officer then, you think, at this point?
He does specialize in like communications and like making sure that like his role in the team is communicating back to HQ, but also it's like I said, he's like kind of a communicator in general.
When the alternative is like sending a pigeon or sending a messenger on a horse, being able to do that kind of like instant communication would be super cool.
Yeah. It would make sense for them to pair you also with the big brass, because anything goes wrong, they want to be able to get that back at Dog's headquarters like, right away.
I've been shot at so many times I can't even count it.
Yeah, and to kind of give you an idea, District Grimm.
Oh yes, sir. You have one right here, and he like pulls out it.
And to kind of put that
Save
perspective,
that for later.
District Grimm is on like the boundary of the Parable Unions. This is pretty far, you know, as far as on the map, right, where this would be in the territorial claim. So you guys are pretty close to a lot of what would be the allegoricals in that sense. So, anything else that you guys forgot to mention, forgot to talk about your characters before we start moving a little bit more into what makes you you with your initiation rites?
I did a relationship with my sister Candace. She's a nurse.
Okay, so you got a relationship with your sister.
And then I have 7 dice worth of relationships I have unspecified.
I think I might have one. Like, I would have a relationship with whoever's like the dispatcher.
Okay, so the dispatcher that would be handling this case right now would be Jethro.
Jethro.
Yeah.
How old are Gibbs?
Oh,
I don't know if that's a 2d8 or a 2d6 relationship though.
you don't have to give him 2.
How much? You tell me how much you like him.
I think me and him get along well because he's
Or conversely, how well do you not get along?
actually, how long has he been a part of the group? How long has he been part of the force?
So Jethro has been a member of this for maybe only 8 years or so, which isn't particularly long for a dispatcher. You've worked with numerous in your time, but Jethro's been, for the last 8 years or so, Jethro's been taking care of it.
Okay. Let's say we built a decent relationship. I'll say it's a 2d6 relationship.
No, it doesn't work. There's a stylish border right here that right off. Yeah. Right.
Okay,
I was gonna say if it was like 3 years or 4 years, I would say it's a pretty poor relationship just because like he's new kids.
Yeah, he's been doing about 8 years or so. So besides Jethro and Candace, right? Your
Yes.
sister Candace. Any other relationships that I should know about beforehand?
I've got relationships with my brother Smith.
Okay.
And then a relationship with my dead father.
Okay.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. And then a relationship with some darker forces.
Did you have a name for your father?
I didn't come up with one. That would have been really smart.
Okay, we'll say Father Wesson. For now?
Sure.
Okay.
Ooh,
Makes
make
him
him a father.
Makes him sound like a priest. Sure.
Okay. And did you say there was a third one or no?
Yeah, with some darker forces.
Okay.
Blood related. Yes.
You got a lot of yours already filled out though.
I've got 1 extra dice.
Okay. Cool. And any for you? Are you?
Nope, just my sister.
Oh, what was your sister's name?
I was gonna leave it up to you, but I can get.
Okay. I can just put sister if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a name for her, but it's up to you if you want it. You use it or not.
It's up to you.
What is it?
I had her as
What is-
Athea.
Oh, Thea?
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Alright, that's good enough. So, that brings us to the next part of our character creation side, which is question.
Oh, I was gonna say actually, I think it would be important for anybody who's like wants to know about the like how the rules work. So
Yeah.
I only took power and lightning, and then I diverted my other 2 power points, like the other 2 dice, to other
2 other
areas, like to traits, one to traits and one to relationships.
one to relationships. Yeah. So in the dog system, if you have you don't want to use all your power traits, you can just take those dice and shove it. As long as you don't mix match dice, right? Like a D8 with a D6, right? You're absolutely fine to do so. The other thing I should mention, I kind of alluded to in the very beginning, but this is a completely homebrewed world. So if you're like, I don't see this in their packet, it's because it's a homebrewed world. The idea of this system is to be generic in the fact that you could apply it to whatever setting you would like to do. So just to kind of put that forward. The original system was a completely different setting. So, other than that, we ready to do some initiation stuff?
Let's initiate.
So we're going to start this off with our lovely detective Samantha. Tell me, are you picturing something from a previous case, maybe when you first became a dog? What do you want to focus on as a big turning moment for you?
Possibly, like, when I decided to try to stop dealing with the demon within
Okay.
side of me, you know?
Okay. So the resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, the willpower of it.
Okay.
Not really my strong suit, but
Okay. So let's undo that. Were you already a dog at this point, or were you not yet?
so I was kind of initiated into that the dogdom
Mhm.
at a very young age. Super duper young, born into it. So probably yes, but maybe not like officially.
Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and set the scene then. You are coming back from a mission with Smith,
Sure.
and you've been trying to slowly wean yourself off.
Mm-hmm.
And you come home, Smith immediately starts just digging into a pie. And you see on the table a vial of blood.
Ooh, yeah.
And it starts to call to you. You get the thoughts, so your hand gets shaky, your throat gets dry, your mouth gets tingly. You have this sense of being called forth.
Mhm.
So we're going to call this a non-physical, non-violent.
Yeah, sure.
So this is going to be mind and soul.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your mind and soul dice. I'm going to roll the same that I'll roll for all of you guys for this, which will be 46, 40, 10.
This is why we pulled out the thing.
So the satisfying quickly clap. I don't know why I'm sorting them, but I'm not gonna have to pass them over. It's famously sorted. Okay.
That's a 2.
It was a 6.
It was a 6.
I rolled it. Fast.
I feel like this particular game was made with like the virtual tabletop, like just it would be
Right?
perfect for that.
2. Or just like a really tiny table.
Yeah, we're all huddled over it.
All right, so now what I need you to do is to take your top two highest numbers you have,
Sure.
add them together. What do you got? All right, I have an 11. So you get to go first. So tell me, how do you react to this call coming forth from this bottle?
I need to take your top off.
I mean, if you're asking. So, I mean, it's been a pretty hard day.
It's like a beer.
It's pretty cold into me, so I'm just gonna kind of, try to join my brother and have some pie.
So you kind of just ignore the bottle on
I'm
the
gonna try to ignore
What
it.
numbers are you putting forth?
Oh, 5 and a 4.
5 and a 4?
Yeah.
So I have to meet a 9 now.
Yeah, which you could totally mean.
Okay.
Should have just gone 2 6s.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and block it with a 5 and 4. So as you go to sit down and eat the pie, you put the first bite in your mouth and you taste the iron of blood.
Ooh.
And it gets sticky. And it's blueberry pie. But it just turns red upon the spoon and it starts dripping. And you see the vial again just glowing this dark red. So
Okay.
that gets rid of those. I'm going to now answer by having Smith is going to grab another piece of pie,
Uh-huh.
and as they do, they kind of need to get to the pie. They move the bottle closer to you.
Oh, sure.
And they take a bite of their pie, and you just, even as they're eating, you see the dripping red, but they don't seem to notice it. So I'm gonna just get rid of Well, yeah, we'll probably do that. No. Do that.
Sure, I'll put up a 3 and a 4 to match it.
Okay.
Or what is raising?
Raising's the next time you go.
Okay, next time.
Yeah.
So I don't raise, or I just have to match. Right?
You have to match it.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I match.
You couldn't raise.
If I would have done 3 and a 3, you would have been able to just put your 6 and reverse the blow.
Gotcha. That's what I'm.
Yeah. You'd have to have a 7 on single dice to do that. Yeah,
That's pretty hard. with
So how
this.
do you react to it? So the bottle gets shifted closer to you. You see the blood from the pie.
Right. And Smith doesn't seem to see it, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's probably not demon blood pie. And so I know that it's calling to me, and I'm not super happy about it because I am trying to wean myself off of it. So I'm just gonna kind of like nudge the bottle away, just kind of nudge it and like pick up my fork and take another bite of pie because pie's good. Smith
Okay,
seems
so
to
you're
like
just
pie.
pushing through the image, moving the bottle further aside,
Yeah.
away from Smith as well. It seems like move to the left.
And the pie, it always seems to calm Smith down. Maybe it'll work for me.
Okay, it is your turn to raise.
Okay. I'll go with a 5 and a 6 again.
Okay, so in order for me to meet this, I actually have to go above 2 dice.
Okay.
Is that 12?
Well,
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it goes higher, it just needs to meet it or go higher. And as you move the bottle to the side, you feel the warmth of the bottle and it burns your hand as you move the bottle aside. And you look at the wound and your mouth gets dry again and you just feel the need for that blood.
Okay. Awesome.
But I blocked you.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with demons, I'm going to get to roll an extra 2d8.
Oh, sure.
Because we are dealing with that right now. Didn't go great. I'm being honest. So I put an 8 on it. And it burns your skin. You look at it, and you hear your blood, like almost a sense like you hear like blood boiling within your arm, and you can feel the pulsing of your blood inside your arm where it burnt. Heartbeat starts to rise.
Okay. I'm gonna put up a 6 and a 2.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna probably not take my eyes off of this thing, but like there's a burn on my hand, and so I'm gonna start to just dig my thumb into the wound to kind of balance myself and bring myself back to reality.
Okay. At this point, there's nothing else I can do that would be when you raise. I can't. I already brought in demons. So describe to me how you overcome this and what was at stake for you that you overcame.
So I mean, what's at stake is obviously like the entire purpose of weaning myself off of it, and it's probably much harder to do a second time if I would even want to, right? And so, plus I'd be drinking the demon blood in front of my brother, and he's absolutely perfect, so he would not be okay with that. So luckily I get to keep that side of myself private, but also continue on my personal journey to not give in to that side of myself.
Okay, very good. So you have overcame demons, and you have earned a new trait. Can you tell us what that trait is? It's a 1d6 trait.
A 1d6 trait. Okay. Then it's probably a little bit of finding strength in pain, right?
Okay.
So like if I
Because of the digging.
because of the digging into the wound, and so I can use that as a way to ground myself.
Okay.
And to find myself when I'm lost.
Okay. So you have you now have this grounding relationship with the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So you can go ahead and add that to your list. Very, very cool. Now we go to Andrew.
Hello.
Tell me, for your character, what would you like to focus on? Early on, sometime not too long ago.
I feel like the best idea would be like to have like the formation of this particular agency,
Okay.
which I imagine would probably be a bit more like rough and tumble, not quite the established, non-violent like detective, like almost police force. It's probably more like a mercenary
Yeah.
type of situation where like I would have to go and like prove that our like outfit is capable of handling these dangerous situations.
Okay.
So I'm thinking probably something like there's a manticore that has been like terrorizing the countryside. Like and Prop today is like I've handled my fair share of manticore, and he just marches away,
Okay.
and then he goes and fights.
Cool. What would you say is at stake here? Like, what are the odds here that you're trying to gain out of this?
I would see it was like the reputation of the order that I'm trying to kind of think, and also there's probably like there's a chance that I will get injured if I'm unable to defeat this, this beast.
This beast. Okay, cool. So we'll say, you're, in your time as Mystios, and your time going over and becoming a part of this dog order. We'll say that you and some of the founding members of the dogs are sent on a mission.
Mhm.
And in this mission, you're going against, what did you say, chimeras like that?
I said a manticore. Just like I just pulled
Cool. That sounds cool.
like something that is in Greek mythology. He would
let's
know.
Let's go with Manticore. Yeah. So you're going against the Manticore, and in your fighting, Arthur Pendragon,
Mm-hmm.
thrown aside, bashed in, knocked out.
Oof. Okay.
Then Thor comes down, smashed to the side, completely hammered, gone, like he's thrown down. Then you see you're trying to go through, you watch as the famous, just legendary Achilles, one of your past friends maybe, goes in, jumps in, and just knocks aside. Spear shatters, shield crashed to bits. You're the only one standing.
Manticore bit him on the heel just a little bit.
Yeah, you're the only one left.
Just got him right with the stinger.
Yeah, just stinger right to the back of the foot.
So because this
Achilles
is
said something.
something that is physical and violent, we're going to be doing body spirit. So go ahead and roll your pool for that. I'm going to do the same thing. 4d6.
Spirit.
Let's put some battle music on here. 2 6s.
And 2 ones. Now, when the equipment comes into play is as we're doing this. It doesn't happen in the beginning, correct?
You could apply it right away.
Oh, can I apply it now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've got my collapsible spear and my armor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead and put it in.
Which is another 6. And a 4 and a 3. What else can I apply to this? Trained in Sparta?
Yeah, over.
Another 6. Prophecy probably doesn't apply. Okay.
How many traits can you apply to a situation? As many as apply?
Makes it apply. It just has to make reasonable sense. Yeah. Because there is a level of Manticore here, they're going to add 2d8 from the Manticore side.
And then the last one would be like, can I use my gift of prophecy to like read his attacks? Or would that be more? Like,
That'd be more after you see it, like it start its attack. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good roll. All right. So what's your highest two combined?
12.
12. Okay, mine's a 18 is my highest. The 10 plus the 8.
Mhm.
So
It's pretty good.
yeah.
This is gonna be rough.
You rolled a lot better.
I'm gonna start off with a 6 and a 4. So I'm gonna throw a 10 out.
Mhm.
And what's gonna end up happening is the mana core is going to jump up, and as you see its paws come down, the stinger comes around and slices back at the back of you. So it's kind of like Stinger's trying to, the scorpion tail almost, is
Mhm.
trying to come from behind you.
And so what you're saying is now I can apply it, or what?
Yes, now you can apply that trait if you wanted to, which is the prophesizing one, right?
Prophecy.
So you see it in the
Power of
air.
Prophecy.
Yeah, you see it in the air, you see that stinger.
8 and 8.
That's good.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
You want to apply an 8 and a 2?
Yeah, it's gonna meet 10, that's all you gotta meet.
Let's do a 6 and a 4 to block. Just right back at it.
Use some space for the 8s.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, so we have 6 and 4 meets. How do you block it? What do you do?
So I can see his tail coming up, and I just kind of like will grab it and like spin around, use my spear to like kind of like lift it up, and then use this moment to like throw it
Okay.
away.
Alright, so you kind of, as it comes up, tail goes around you, you kind of like back that off and then grab it and boom, just
Yeah.
launch that thing. Alright, yeah, absolutely blocked it. How are you gonna raise against me?
Okay, so let me think about how this would work. That 10 is very, very.
It's very daunting. Yeah.
How about a 3 and a 2? Because I know you're going to counter it anyway, so let's just not do nothing too crazy.
Okay.
So I just want to see how this combat
Yeah,
system
yeah,
works.
no,
because I've never
and
seen
that's-
it before.
I think that's part of the reason why we do an initial thing too, is
Mhm.
also to get used to the conflict system.
Yeah, so let's see.
In all of my time looking at TTRPG, I've never seen anything like this. This is so different. I love it, but
It's very strange. So let's
Yeah.
see what the Magnifier does.
yeah.
Like-
So, what do you do to describe? You threw it to the side. What are you doing physically?
I think what he's doing is he's just going to like take a precursory jab at the man.
Okay,
with
testing the
spear.
range of it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like seeing like what would the best way for me to actually go about fighting this thing.
Makes absolute sense. So for me, what I'm going to do is I don't have a 5. I don't even have a 6. So I'm going to throw my 7.
Mhm.
And what this is called a reverse.
This
So
is what I was expecting. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
he doesn't have this, so he can either use 2 to block me, or you can use 1 and get rid of one of the higher
One of the
ones,
higher dice,
and then
absolutely.
right later.
Yeah, a lot of chess in this,
Mhm.
kind of feel. So what's ended up going to happening is as you go to take a poke, it kind of like latches onto the spear,
Mhm.
and that stinger is just going to start wrapping around you.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like stinger's wrapped around you, and it's holding onto that spear.
Mhm.
So what that means is these two go away, right?
Mhm.
And I get to leave this one here because now I can add another dice to it.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw out this 4 right here to make that an 11.
Okay. Which I can block with an 8 and a 3.
Yep.
So let's do that.
Okay. So the good thing about that is you don't have to worry about any consequences of this, right?
Right.
So you are blocking. So it's wrapped around you. It's wrapped around you. Hold on to your spear. How do you kind of get out of this hole?
I think what I'm gonna do is when he has this is immobilized, I'm gonna take out like my dagger and I'm gonna stab it.
Okay, so you stab this like creature's stinger, and it kind of lets the barbed tail out, right?
Another 4 because I have a dagger.
That's your dagger right there. Very cool. All right, so able to block it, no problem whatsoever. Now you get to raise again against me.
Okay.
I love the shirt.
Let's fuck him up. Let's do 8 and 6.
8-6. All right.
Let's make him use some stuff.
All right.
So he's just gonna be like throw it up, and he's gonna be like, okay, now I know. I've got my hands free. Jump and just try and like jam the spear right into its mouth. All right, that's what he's trying to do. Do I give the explanation of what I'm doing after or
No,
something?
it doesn't matter. Either and or. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I have really do have to throw this in there to do something about it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to have to do a consequence. So I think for this consequence, to keep one more biggish hit, I'm going to do this. Is that 11, 12, 13, 14, right?
You need 4 of them. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do 3 or more, as much as you need to meet the dice. The problem with that is it doesn't really matter for me in this situation, but if this was you, that's a lot of consequence dice now to deal with. So that right there, 11, 12, 13, 14, that should meet yours. So you do the jump up and stuff like that, and it's going to take the blow, because technically I'm taking the blow. So you stab into it, and its face is now just right up to your face. So it's just growling with that, that mouth. All right. So the only thing
does not flinch. He's just like growling right back at it.
So the only thing left I can do is throw up an 11.
Well, then let's do the 2 6s.
2 6s. So you're able to block that without even having to face a consequence, which is really cool. What's going to end up happening here is you tell me, because I can do nothing else. So how do you defeat the manticore?
Okay. So
eyeball.
Well, I mean, it goes down in, and then it's like growling at it, and then it comes back out and like up, and so like it's coming in and it slices into it as like it kind of like falls, and then spins with the scythe, cuts the tail off, spins it back right through the neck, right through the spine, pins it into the ground.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
You just got blood all over that like shining brass.
It's screaming out in horror. I'm so much screaming that the others start to wake up, and just as the killing blow starts to release them, they see you towering over this.
It's a very clean kill. Like, it's not like I'm not torturing. It's like cut off the most dangerous part, immediately through the spine, dead.
Yeah. At this point, you hear Arthur going, I think it's about time peace came to the land and we unite. And I could use your help.
This is a cursed land, and I've seen my share of that. Yes, something must be done. And I'm going to put my hand on it, and I'm going to heal the wounds on it.
And we kind of zoom out as we kind of see, this flash forward of you at the Accords.
You zoom out, and like there was like a storm above, because it was like the kind of classic storm. And like as the thing goes, like the sun comes out, and like, the healing
beam of hope, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you just flash forward through your eyes as we see you standing next to Arthur and Thor, at the Accord, making the deal with the Supernaturals, all united around this round table. Very, very cool. All right, love it. You may have your dust back.
This is good times.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. It's fun because it makes like the intricate like little things that you take matter so much more than like, oh yeah, well you took this, so you roll this damage. Like that's not necessarily the ideal. It's like, no, you have this, and then you use your skills, and then you use this.
And the cool thing is, anytime there is a conflict, whether win or lose, a trait comes out of it. Good trait or bad trait, right? But a trait comes out. So tell me about your D6 trait that you've developed based on this.
Oh, okay. I get a trait.
Yeah.
Oh shit. This is sick. Okay,
Yeah, through conflict we change is the sentiment of the system.
That's a good question. Let's see. Well, I wanted to actually make sense with what I'm doing with like the fighting, so it would probably be something along the lines of like, let's see, pest removal, perhaps.
Yeah, so like the idea of taking out beasts like this.
How about let's do Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter, very cool. 1d6.
I can't believe it took me so long to do that.
I can't be there.
1d6 Monster Hunter.
Very cool. All right, we now zoom over to Detective Hamish, right? Hamish.
Hamish.
Is it Cunningham?
You don't have to say hey Mish, just Hamish.
Hamish. Yeah, Detective Hamish Cunningham.
Say hi to them.
Yeah. Hey Mish.
Hey Mish, how you doing?
That's how you say it.
Hey Mish, you call him.
Yeah.
All right, so
Sir Hay of Mish, how was your day?
Doing great. How about yourself?
You seem to have a stray bullet stuck in your shoulder. Let me get that for you, my friend. And this,
Yeah.
this pulls it out and heals your shoulder.
So you tell me, in this initial conflict, what do you picture? Do you picture something from when you first joined the force, before the force, after the force, during the force?
So the circumstance I'm picturing specifically is, so Hamish has been working the beat for a while, and he's finally gotten promoted to detective.
Okay.
And it's his first like big profile case, and he's actually going to work it. He's going to support his father, who's also still a detective. But this is his first big case of tracking down the werewolf man.
Okay.
But this is also the case where his father actually dies. He's killed by the werewolf man.
Okay. All right.
So it's kind of like it's like the greatest day because he's finally a detective, but it's also the worst day because his dad dies, and it's kind of like a weird paradoxical memory.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's strong. So we'll set the scene in this almost Victorian England-esque alley, and in this alley, it's one of your first big ones, first ones really, right? You know, your prime mission. We see your father bleeding in the rain, just intestines ripped out, and there the wolf turns to you and growls. If you just would have gotten there a few moments sooner. And there the wolf turns and looks at you. Your father's still alive, but bleeding out. Looks to you. Is that what you ought to do? Leave my son alone.
Then Hamish is gonna be like, he's gonna like pull out his scatter shot. He's gonna be like, he's just like kind of pissed, and he's gonna fire off it.
All right, cool. So this is interesting. This is going to be one of those ones where we might have to bring in 3 stats at some point. So this is going to be violent at range, with a good chance of this bringing also physical violent, right? So we might have to go with 3 when it happens. But for now, go ahead and do mind and spirit. Okay.
Skills very decent.
You're welcome.
For anybody who's looking
Hey, come here.
at home
Look at
on Patreon, you might be like, wow, I need some dice to play this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I mean, yeah.
This would have been a great day for my camera.
I'm not even using half of my face.
Okay, not everybody's you.
You're also a gremlin.
Roll that
so
1d100, see what happens.
48. But I also want to bring in
39.
I don't think
Say it's still
because this is when he was younger. I don't think I can reasonably apply. I can do this with my eyes closed because he's not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not the like hard-boiled, grizzled veteran in this scenario. So it's
But I will say though, I do think I'm going to use we go way back because it's literally my dad in this case.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to use another 2d6 here for that.
You could also, if you want to, use one of your relationships and insert your dad in there so you can roll with it. And since it's blood, you get an extra 1d6.
Yep, that's true.
That's true.
You could, yeah. Just gotta use one of those relationships.
Detective Hamish. Hamish is technically junior. Well, he's the third, but he's junior in this case.
Okay.
It is a decision to make because, assuming that he stays dead, you probably will not be able to use that relationship again.
I've got
Unless he faces the wolf or
Or something, yeah, something that reminds him of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very open interpretation, which I love about it.
Well, then that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think.
It's not meant for, if I'm being honest, it doesn't feel like it's meant for min-maxers. You know what I mean? They can take advantage of it,
Yeah.
right? But it is definitely a role-playing centric game. Yeah.
I'll say the scatter.
Yeah, you said you pulled the scatter, so you can absolutely pull that into this.
Now, because I'm powering it with the lightning,
Mm-hmm.
how does that work?
Your lightning, your power, and your scatter would go together in that sense.
Power and scatter
So you
together.
roll up.
Yeah.
All Alright, so.
Which is kind of a cool little combo that you put in there by doing that.
You make the cool thing and you get rewarded with more dice.
Yeah, creativity pays off here.
Two. I need another D8.
I got you.
And I need
Not
two
fast enough, I
more
got 'em.
D6. I need 2 more D6. Alright, so let me go ahead and roll.
I have another 600.
And quickly, just as you're doing this, what's at risk here? Is there a confidence at risk? Is there what's
at risk is let's see. Well, I mean, for one, not being able to not being able to save, but also possibly not being able to get like say anything before he passes, because the wolf is gonna presumably come in after him and then try to run.
Yeah. So you could say one of the risks is that if you lose this, you may not get to say that last goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could potentially get
some kind of bad injury.
Bad injury that reminds me of this circumstance.
Absolutely.
You could get a scar from it and then have it be the boon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of the cool things that there's complications with bad traits, so it might be a 1d4, right?
Yeah.
D4 are complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get an extra dice, but it gets a 4 at max.
Hey.
What is the flask? Is that a 1?
When you're dealing with numbers of dice, a D4 can be a very interesting and well done strategy to use.
Yeah.
I like this a lot too, because there's a lot of strategy involved in it. You don't get that a lot in, at least in 5th edition.
Yeah. Yeah, you roll pretty good, dude.
3 and a 2, and then I gotta roll the last dice I have.
For anybody's watching, I did my 4d6, 4d10, like usual, and because this was such an aggressive thing, I did my 2d8 extra. Which is essentially big and excellent, is what that equates to.
That was a 5.
Very good.
How about you perhaps using a big and excellent steer?
And a
Hey. Hey.
Okay.
Alright, so my highest is a 17, and your highest is a 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I would still get to go first, but you're looking good. You definitely have, this is
That's
a good
a shit
start.
ton of dice.
Yeah.
Going first isn't necessarily a good thing.
It's not, because you're using dice right off the back. The reason why I like this going first real quick is because I'm about to do something that's going to cause you to have to
Get a consequence.
get a consequence.
Yep.
Haven't done it to anybody. Oh, that's not what I was trying to do. Take that back for a second, guys. 7 plus, what, 5? 6, right? I can count. There you go. That's a consequence.
Okay.
That is 13.
8. Actually,
This could be a good thing if you know you're going to get hit. Using some of your lower dice might not be a terrible idea.
Yeah, it just does give you more risk of consequence because you have to roll more dice. So the more dice you use in the consequence, the amount of dice you use in the consequence is how many you have to roll. So if you put 6 dice up there, you have to roll all 6.
I see. That's a good,
It's a weird.
a good detail to know. Get to 20 and you die.
I would use the smaller dice since you're going to take consequences.
yeah, but I can't use too many smaller dice because otherwise I'll.
No, I know. I mean, use the D6 instead of the D8.
Here's the thing too. The more smaller dice you roll, the more smaller dice you roll for your consequences, the higher chance that you get a 1, which is good.
Yes.
Any ones you get to choose from the growth list on the consequences.
Yes.
So yes, it's not good to have a lot of dice,
But there's a boon to it.
but unless those dice can add up to 11 or 16 like that, then it doesn't really matter, and it gives you it's a gamble to do that. Yes, you could get a short-term thing, or you could roll 2 1s, get 2 growth lists, and this is all come out really well for you.
Yeah.
In addition to if you win the combat and getting the extra 1d6 anyway.
And to be clear, the size of the dice does not affect the consequence here. the consequence dice is affected by what type this is. This is physical and violence. That already determines what the consequence dice is.
Oh,
So using a D8 there wouldn't actually do anything.
okay.
Yeah.
But it was a.
Yeah, you'll roll dice, but they'll be of a certain dice based on what type of
Yeah,
conflict
it does
was.
say that up here. If it's not visible and non-violent, then it's a 1d4. If it's violent and deadly, it's a 1d10. So like the actual dice you use doesn't matter, which is
And this
which
is
means
that-
what I said is wrong.
This is violent and deadly, so consequences matter here.
I'll put up a 2, a 6, and a 5. Wait, no, that's not that just how it works.
Yeah, 13.
13. All right. So, so what it's going to do is it's going to begin starting to run at you, right? Has it actually? It's about to attack you. It's about to claw at you. Okay. As it goes to do that, how do you kind of take the blow? Because you did use consequence. You do take the blow, right? But how do you kind of also fend it back as it's scratching at you?
I imagine its attack was wild, so it was like charging, and it was gonna just do like a slash or a pounce or something. Hamish kind of tries to kind of roll out of the way, but still gets like the scrape across his back or something or maybe it's his arm that comes in the way as it's running at him, and it just is trying to hack at him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big scrape across his arm right here as he kind of gets out of the way and he's bleeding.
Very cool. All right, so that has been blocked. Now, because I just made this close range as well, we get to bring in another set of dice. Because I don't really have a long range attack as this werewolf person. So you're going to also roll in your body. So roll your body as well.
How many?
For me,
It's not nothing.
cited by 46 for my body there, representing the wolf and their ability, right? So I raised first, so you get to raise now.
Okay.
So 2 dice. This is a lot of dice, but a lot of dice right now. This is interesting here.
The highest he has,
Is it 10?
besides the 10, is a 5.
Yep,
Yeah.
I have 2 of those.
So you could try to draw out the 10.
Yeah, like how I was doing before.
Yeah, if people who are wondering as a GM, the only thing that stinks is you don't, unless you're playing as an actual character, right? Like an NPC I've created and stuff like that. You don't have as many traits that you can bring in, so I have to be very careful with my consequence. I don't have to roll a consequence, but if I use a lot of consequence dice, I have less dice to react now with.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm gonna use a.
It's definitely a much different game for the GM than it is for the player.
For a player, yeah.
And
Unless because you have to specifically think of this is the kind of monster I want. It's going to have this trait, this trait, this trait, this trait. But you don't want to give it too many traits because there is
Yeah.
he's a 6 and a 3.
Okay, so that's a 9 you put up there.
6 to a 9.
Gosh, yeah, I gotta draw up that 10. You're making me use the 10 essentially. So I'm gonna reverse with the 10. So what do you do to me?
So it was like a wild attack, and he kind of slides past, and he's skittering to kind of get his balance. He's coming back for another attack, and Hamish has his he's got the charge ready, and he does a shot of the scatter shot.
Okay.
To
As you shoot, it just gets in between 2 of the barrels and just grabs you by the neck and throws you to the ground, right? So that's it kind of you're rolling on the ground and gets skidding back up as it just gets out of the way. You kind of nick with the scattergun across the hairy chest, right? So you can see fur singed off, from this. So because I reversed, I get to keep my 10 up there. That was the inspiration for me wanting to do that. So now you're still stuck at a 12 for right now. So I'm just going to throw up a 3 to make you once again try to take a consequence. So far you've only had 3 consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, you can still roll another trait.
Yeah,
If you feel like there's another trait.
Those are D10s though.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it is. Now, I will say the good thing about consequences is it's not add all the dice together. It's take the highest combination of the two.
Okay.
So the highest you can possibly roll is a 20 if you roll 2d10s.
In which case you would have to roll your character.
We'll figure something out. With that. I won't kill you in the initiation.
I'm gonna try to radio for backup.
Okay, so you got that radio on the back, right?
Yeah, is it a roll I can add?
Yeah,
to this?
it's an item. You can roll the item in.
Now you roll your item dice.
Alright, I need a D8.
This game was made for dice hoarders.
I'm not hoarding. You're hoarding.
That was a good roll.
There we go.
Yeah, out of an 8.
Okay.
Jeez.
So 7. Okay.
So now you don't have to take a consequence.
Mm-hmm. So, he got a nice graze on there, and the Wolfman is attacking him again. He's gonna try to radio for back and be like, "This is Detective, Hamish Cunningham III, like send backup immediately."
Yeah. So you're kind of like
He's gonna radio in the location and stuff, and
yeah. So you get thrown to the side, and as you're kind of skidding back up, you're immediately touching the back of the radio, dialing in, and so you're just you're using the distance and the time it would take to get back to you, right? To get that call in.
Officer down.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Nice. Good. That is a wonderful counter to avoid consequence there. So you go ahead and raise an offensive against me.
Okay.
And at any time, I can just be very clear, you can always escalate a system up to physical, but you can also de-escalate by bringing in other traits if you want to try to de-escalate something. So if something's physical, you can bring it down if you want to.
If you go over 10, he has to spend a consequence.
Right, but I'm actually thinking of.
Keep in mind, if you make him use the higher ones up, then when he attacks you, he has to use the lower ones, which you can then counter, like he did.
And then reverse.
Yeah. And then you can use that same dice on your next raise.
You're throwing 11 at me? Okay, how you doing this? What are you thinking?
He's gonna. So he just radioed in, and he's getting his scatter shot ready again because he radioed in, and he's like immediately on the defensive because the wolf is like charging back at him.
Okay.
Wolfman. Cool. And so he's getting ready to then pump another shot into him, like more point blank.
Mm-hmm.
To try to just. Presumably, it's a good him getting close enough that he can like pop him in the head to make him reel a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you do that, you kind of reel him in, and he tries to dodge out of the way to kind of get a slash at you. And as you do it, you get a nice shot off on the shoulder, and it just backs him up completely. So he takes the blow, right? For sure. Very good. Yeah. Not much I can do with that one. Nice.
Good round.
All right, my turn to raise.
I do enjoy that the terminology is poker.
I'll put 3 and 4 up. Just trying to avoid a reverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And essentially what it's doing is it's going for a leg sweep to try to get you prone.
Okay. I'll also match with a 3 and a 4. Okay. So he's gonna just so it's gonna be a leg sweep, and he's gonna kind of just try to leap up.
Okay, so you dodge actually.
Jump rope.
Jump right over the dirt of the alley, just splatters across the buildings, right? As you
I was
just
gonna make us
jump
like this.
right over us. Very good. Good block.
Love the idea of dueling dice like this.
And you can raise them.
It's like every single.
put in 6. Not a 6.
You know what we could do? We could in our Strixhaven campaign, we could use this for our mage tower and wrestling.
Do an 8.
That's pretty cool. No, that's a pretty cool idea. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Gosh. So it's Wolfman. He's gonna fight to the end here. So he's gonna. What are you doing here?
So he just got the he just jumped over the leg sweep, and he's gonna take the butt of his scatter rifle, and he's just gonna whack him on the back face with the because it's like a thick, it's a thick palm, because it's taking the electricity from his person into the gun to then use. So it's like a thick metal plating, and he just bops him in there.
You just see teeth, fly. It's gonna block, so it gets its hand up to kind of block it, and just teeth fly out. It's staggering right now. So its next swing at you is going to be 2 and a 2, which is easy for you to reverse. At this point, it's just swiping wildly, trying to get something.
Fuck him up, Hamish.
Yeah, reverse. How do you swiping wildly at you?
Uno reverse.
But lazily almost.
Yeah.
How do you reverse it?
So
You take the advantage here.
So he is going to dodge the swipes, and he's gonna whack a couple more times. One in the knee, in the one kneecap, and then in the face to try to kind of get him on the ground, and then a final whack on the back to get him on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's gonna just use his. Well, I guess he doesn't really have that item, but I was gonna say he was gonna try to detain him, but he does. I don't have handcuffs on me, so.
Yeah, you can have handcuffs. They don't have to have a stat to them.
Okay, it would be
These are the things that you need to have a stat to them.
It would be some kind of larger handcuff to be able to hold back
Okay.
a wolf man, but
Alright.
he definitely detains because he's not trained to kill. He's trained to detain.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he killed his father, he's
Yeah.
mutilated his father,
Yeah.
and he's gonna get a couple more good hits in there, just to be like, "Yo, son of a."
Yeah. You're smashing. Face is getting caved in. You know what I mean?
Right,
At this point,
and then he kind of holds back, and he goes over to.
Yeah, you put these manticles, on, and just the silver of them is burning the flesh of this wolf man, and it's just holding it, and it's howling and trying to get any help it can. You will absolutely win this, and you will get a trait. You will, because of winning this, you will also get to go have some final words with your father as he's on the ground.
It's
Before that, roll for consequence.
I did set aside them.
Yeah, you can do the scene first if you want. Yeah.
So he's gonna kind of go over and he's gonna be like, "Sir, it looks bad." He's gonna, he's gonna look into his eyes and he's gonna see that he's not gonna make it, and he's gonna kind of kneel down and he's gonna just kind of say to his father, he's gonna be like, "This has been the greatest honor of my life working under you."
Junior, you beat fucking Wolfman. Do you know how proud I am?
I don't say it, you son of a bitch.
You have made the family proud. And you mean everything to me. I want you to know you will change the world.
And he's just gonna grab forearms and just do the final embrace.
Yeah, he kind of puts his head against your head, So mom will be late for supper.
I'll tell her.
And he fades away. Very cool. Very, very cool. Great scene. So, a couple things happens. You get to roll some fallout. So what I need you to roll is 3d10. And you're going to take the highest combination. Highest is a 9. Right?
Yeah.
And no 1s. So you don't get the growth from it, but you choose a long-term consequence. So you can either remove 1 die from a non-1d4 stat, trait, relationship, or power, or lower the size of any trait, relationship, or power to 1d4, or lose an item. Any of the 3.
What were the 3 were
Here.
Long-term, the last one.
with 1 time on stat. With D4.
Yeah. So if you had a D6 you don't necessarily care a whole lot about. I know you have a lot of 2D something, which makes it a bit difficult.
That was hard. I mean, this is all about lowering things that make sense to lower, right? Like, because I don't even know Jethro yet, so I can't lower the relationship I don't know.
You can.
You can do whatever you want, really.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just in the future, won't be able to.
This is a long-term consequence, so maybe your relationship with Jethro won't be great because
You don't trust
because of-
people as well.
or
Because the
because you're-
backup didn't fucking get there.
yeah, that's pretty fucking good.
That's pretty good,
That's pretty good.
All right, I'll take that. That's pretty good.
Nice.
So it goes my 2D6 with
Yeah, that man, the story writes itself. You know, that's really cool. All right, these are yours, right? Okay.
And then you get a...
Oh, trait. Yes.
Trait.
Tell us about your trait. It's a 1d6 trait you get to add.
I wonder if this is one of those things where, this wouldn't work well with a party though, because it's like,
Sure will.
it would be like, I work best alone.
I was actually thinking, I don't abandon the fallen.
I don't abandon
No
the
one left
fallen.
behind is good.
No one left behind. That's actually better. No
Yeah.
one left behind.
That's pretty good. It's gonna be a 1d6.
D6.
I like that a lot.
Very cool.
Especially for a crotchety old man like Hamish.
He's trained lots of people probably in his time.
But he's so like, oh, he's the fucking greenhouse, all these fucking browns, all these fucking guys.
Yeah.
And then like if anything goes wrong, like, I'm not fucking leaving you here.
Yeah.
I'm actually soft.
You little shits getting into this bullshit!
It's really good. I think that's an excellent character trait.
All right, Detective Jasper Watts.
I think mine is the circumstances of becoming a detective before I am a detective and trying to figure out why am I a detective.
Okay. All right. Anything in particular that you think would be really driving for your character? A consequence or something that a goal that your character might have had.
I think my character didn't want to be a detective,
Okay.
and through certain circumstances that made certain detective veterans not want me to. They want to keep me close. I know something, or I saw something, or they saw something in me. They don't want to leave me out of it.
Okay. All right.
I know that's a little vague, but
I got you. So, you're in the Grimm District, actually. This is maybe, say, 3 years beforehand. And you're in your tenement in the city. And your sister, Candace, she's just writing she's just writing. She's writing in her journal, and all of a sudden, the pencil breaks, or whatever they fucking use. All right, it fucking breaks. Right, just snaps.
Quill.
Yeah.
boo on it.
Chunk of graphite.
And it just snaps. And there's this cold breeze. You guys have the window open. There's a chill, goosebumps.
Whatever you're writing, somebody's not pleased with it. I didn't think my joke was that funny.
Jasper.
Oh, Candace, I don't like that one bit.
Jasper.
Okay, this is a funny joke.
This form is interesting.
I don't like this. Yeah, I'm calling the police.
Should we go for a walk?
Not if you're gonna behave like this.
Who?
Candace, you know I don't really like this
Oh.
kind of tomfoolery.
Candace isn't home right now. Would you like to leave a message?
Yes, be home promptly, please.
She's not answering right now.
Don't like that. And with who am I speaking?
Well, I'm... Call me Archibald.
Archibald, yes. I don't believe you were invited.
Oh, was that how it's supposed to work?
You're in my home.
And as you say that, the door busts open. And you see the dog badge. And it's none other than Detective Hamish.
Now, I know I said I'd call the police, but this is not what I expected.
Detective Hamish, you've been tracking a ghost in this area. And as you do that, you just see this woman kind of contorted, talking to this other person, and they look to you. Oh, fuck.
He wasn't invited either.
And then she just kind of like looks to you and then tosses you against the wall. And she's just holding you still. We're gonna go into conflict.
Hamish is gonna be like,
no.
so much for greetings, you son of a bitch.
All right.
Now, I've read that there is ways to help other people do stuff.
Yeah.
What's the ruling on it?
So what's going to happen here is this is interesting because I wasn't planning on doing this in an initiation, but you are both going to roll. Okay.
All right.
And what's going to happen is you both have to meet my raises, but you take turns with your answering raises. So you have to call me, right? Mm-hmm. But you can you take turns on raises, which means that your guys' dice pool is twice as much as mine, right? The problem is that you both are using dice against me. So.
Well, we're gonna need to bust out another pack of D6.
I was
I
gonna,
got you. What do you need?
Bust it out.
I was gonna ask if, like, is there a way that
What do you need?
a prophecy might be able to help this? Because
Yeah,
he's
maybe
in
he
the
told
dog
Hamish
because
a
I told him
prophecy.
where it was.
What was that?
Maybe he told Hamish a prophecy.
We mean like bring 3 people into it?
No. I basically just like give him the prophecy dice. That's it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'll be okay with that. Like you knew about this because she hasn't even called yet.
No.
Like what gender does your character go by the way?
Jasper? He's him.
He, him? Okay. So he hasn't even like contacted you. You're prophesizing.
Yeah.
And that's what you said.
I'm basically just like, I've received prophecy of a danger in the Grimm District. Let us send Hamish to investigate this situation.
Yeah. So we'll say that you are going to get this extra dice to apply to yours.
8 and 3, not bad. Here you go.
All right. So this right here, gosh, definitely physical. We'll say it's violent because you're getting tossed against the wall. So yeah, we'll say physical violent. So this is body spirit.
No.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Now your character does not have to respond violently. If you do, let me know so you can throw in your non-violent trait thing as well. Your non-violent stuff as well.
I'm probably gonna keep it. I don't know.
It would make perfect sense for you not to use
Have
your
I s-
violence against your sister.
Have I seen this type
Yeah,
of thing
non-violent.
before?
Yeah, that's true.
it's
It
a
is my
ghost.
sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm just
Put
saying,
your
like,
sister in there.
I would have it in my dog deck.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So that
Okay.
should be, what is it?
Yeah, this is the possessed ghost.
Plus-
A ghost possessing someone.
I need a bunch of more D6. Probably just take all these.
Remember, you get, if it's blood, you get an extra 1d6.
I get an extra die.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
So that's my
What kind of fight is this?
This is right now it's physical violence.
Okay, I'm non-violent because it's my sister.
So you still get your violent in there,
Mm-hmm.
but actually no, you can respond differently. I remember this. You can respond different than someone else. So you're doing physical, non-violent,
Okay.
or unless you're doing non-physical, non-violent. You tell me.
Are you talking to them? Or are you like trying to restrain?
Non-violently
yeah.
restrained.
You tell me.
I'm probably doing non-violent, non.
Okay.
Physical, so you're mind soul.
Mind
and
soul.
then how, you're responding because it's something physical, right?
Well, actually, how long ago is this? Was this like
3 years.
3 years ago?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
So I've been doing this for a long time.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and activate my telepathy.
May I activate my trap card?
You can also activate
Mirror
things
force?
inside, like once combat has started, so you don't have to do them all at the beginning.
I wanna roll it. Yeah.
It's like how I took out the dagger and then I just rolled for the dagger.
Yeah, that was funny.
There's no trigger yet.
I will keep my invisibility in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But also do the D8s for the like.
Yeah, like something like he attacks you and then you're like, I'm going invisible, and then I roll for invisibility to gain them.
So this is a body.
You tell me, are you reacting physically and violent? You doing physical, non-violent? What are you doing?
Step slam against the wall by kill.
This is peak.
That's some pretty good rolls I'm looking at.
That's actually a good question because I probably would have been like had investigated. I probably would have known that this is a girl. That's
This
like
is Sister Candace.
or I'm tracking the ghost, but the ghost just possessed Candace.
Yeah. You don't know how long it's been, but they definitely have done it recently.
But I just noticed that a girl was possessed.
Yeah.
So
She's
probably
doing the typical body contortions, you know?
I mean, how would you fight a ghost without violence? Essentially, to get it out of the person.
You can use items like different items like iron and stuff like that. That's like trying to. It's physical, right? You're pulling out an item to use it, and you're brandishing a weapon. You're threatening it, right? Those kind of things. Yeah. Like in the episode I was watching of the roleplay one, Matt had this talisman thing he would hold, and that was like his spiritual.
I almost put a
holy
a medallion of Apollo as one of my items.
Yeah.
But I wanted the armor, and I wanted a horse.
Yeah.
The horse is also immortal.
So I did my 46, 40, 10, and I added the extra 46 because we're doing things differently between the two.
It's not a Witcher roach situation. It's the same horse. This is a really fun system. I'm enjoying this very much.
What was your highest combination for you?
Mine? 14.
14. Okay. And then you have your.
I don't even know what. I forgot already what.
What are you looking for?
The types, the roll.
Yeah, I guess mind and spirit maybe.
For what do you?
Oh, here, look. You're doing physical and violent? Body spirit. You're doing violent at range, mind spirit.
Probably. I guess physical and violent. Yeah.
And then violent and only spiritual, which I imagine is like Dragon Ball Z fucking beam combat.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll do physical and violent.
It's just a risk because of the D8s if you get a consequence.
I'm just gonna roll the dice that I have already, and then I'm gonna apply these things.
Yeah, and just roll things as you come up with them.
Yeah.
I just rolled like the relationship, the dice I had to, and then a power that I knew I'd activate immediately.
I think some of the most fun is to be like, and now I do this, and then you put in some more stuff.
Like, oh, my dice are getting low. No, they're not.
And also, it's also a strategic thing because if you don't know what your dice are, neither does he, and he can't plan for it to like manage his dice.
Yeah, they'll be in the
Not to make it an us versus
Yeah.
the GM. I'm just saying, like,
in
But
the
us versus monsters.
yeah,
in the story we have today. I'll have certain people who will have things that
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I anticipate
Nothing crazy.
I anticipate the conflicts getting more difficult than this.
I was going to add one because of the dog decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dog decks.
All right, so I have the highest combo here with my 18. So I will get to go first.
Look at me, I can make believe you're fucked.
Let's go with a good old
I thought that was funny.
8. And we'll throw out a 4. Putting 12 out there. So it's going
It's a
to
good one. It's always a good number.
so it's going to kind of like move you across the wall more. It's like sliding you against the wall. And as it does that, it goes, "Isn't this fun, Jasper?
I'm not having fun.
This is so much fun."
This shit sucks.
Like a child?
So you tell me, guys, how you both have to respond.
Oh, I don't like that. That doesn't look fun at all. You put him down.
All right, so you're kind of trying to keep the innocence of the situation of your sister. Very good. So you go ahead and match. Try to call it however you can. And then you, as she's thinking about, what are you doing in response to being kind of thrown?
He's just gonna be like, I don't like this, and he's gonna like try to actually use some electricity to course through the the thing.
Kind of change the nervous system a little bit.
Yeah, to try to like kind of get the ghost to be like, oh, I don't like that. Try to, like leave.
I don't like that. I prefer if you stop. Damn!
So wait, so how do we apply this?
So that just adds to your dice pool. Yeah.
Oh,
Because remember, once you use the power, you can't reuse the same conflict, right?
that's fine with me. I mean, I rolled pretty well.
Yeah. You can flavor it like you're still using it, right? Use some.
Oh, yeah,
Of course.
A 12 a damn.
Fucking goddamn. The one thing nice about going first is you can kind of get a big number to respond to out of the way real quick.
So each unit has to put up a 12.
So just think about how you want to do it.
Oh, so we. Oh, is that how? What's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
yeah.
both have to
Sorry.
do it,
Yeah, you
yes.
both do.
Okay.
So the easiest right is a 6 and a 6, an 8 and a 4. You know what I mean? Like that's the easiest way, but then you're also getting rid of some big dice.
7 and 5 would be alright, I guess.
As of right now, the consequences are slightly different for you. Yours are considered physical violent, and yours are considered non-physical non-violent, right? So the consequences are a little different for you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn.
Which is kind of another weird economy to it too, right? That you guys have to weigh the situation. This is your sister. Yeah, I mean, this is the job. You know.
So you're at 44 on your consequence if you go with that?
Yeah. Which is a max of 8, right? Is what you could roll there with 4 chances at 1.
44?
Yeah, you take the highest combination.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
dang.
how
Oh,
we
damn.
do.
That's fucking. Okay.
Yeah. So you have 4 chances at rolling a 1. You know.
It's like if you roll 2 4s, you'll get a long-term consequence. Like if you roll two 4s, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just.
Or if
I'm
you,
gonna
I
go
guess,
ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take consequences here because I don't know what's going on.
So you kind of take the hit. You at this point, you're trying to calm down, right? You're trying to answer this, but you see a little bit of not your sister, right? I mean, this is just my sister would do this.
And why else would the dogs be here?
Yeah, this is so weird.
Yeah, we know all about the dogs.
use my 7 on my 5.
All right. So, and how do you block it? Would you're kind of? Would you say you're doing your?
So he's gonna kind of like.
Oh, you do electricity.
So he's getting like kind of waved back and forth. I'm like, isn't this funny? Just like, I'm not having fun, and he's gonna just like grab it and then like shock it and then to release it.
Yeah. There's this moment of like this as you kind of get dropped to the ground, right?
He's gonna be like, playtime's over, kid.
All right. So you get to remember those are 4 falling.
Bam, bam, bam.
I
there.
have those somewhere else.
And then you get your dice back.
And then you shoot him with a gun.
So now, one of you gets to choose the raise. I would personally go, since it's your initial bring. I would say you should go first, unless you guys want to do it differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of your rodeo right now.
Mm-hmm.
How shocked are you is really the question here. Like, how surprised are you by the situation that, like, maybe you might be stunned into your initiative going a little bit lower?
Pretty stunned. Go ahead.
So you did the shock. You kind of got freed a little bit.
I'm gonna like once I like hit the floor, I'm gonna be like, he's gonna like pull out his radio and it's be like, Docs, we got a situation category 3, 4, 5 or something, and he's gonna like call in like the code for like a paranormal activity and stuff like
You better
that.
write down.
5 not, it's
And
actually 3, 4,
also
5.
civilian.
We just write down 3, 4, 5.
We got a couple civilians here.
3, 4, 5. It's the code 3, 4, 5.
In-
Ghosts.
Yeah, code 345.
Paranormal activity, civilians present.
Paranormal.
He's gonna radio in that he's gonna use minimal physical
I wonder how
because of
disappointed
the-
I am in you for not making
because
it.
of the possession.
Code 69.
Alright.
Listen,
Do I have to keep so with these dice I keep these to the side logs because they're like
You just don't get to use them again in your dice pool. You can roll them again for other traits.
Yeah, I was gonna- that's what I was
She has to
thinking
keep
too.
them logged so that she knows she has 4
For
consequences.
consequences. Yeah.
Right.
You only,
Code 69 is a domestic disturbance with loud noises disturbing the neighborhood. Dogs don't normally respond to those.
Alright. Only got a 3 on that one, so that's nice. And then he's going to go over and well actually he's gonna go and he would know what to do with a ghost, so he's like gonna try to use like some kind of thing, some kind of tune or something to like try to like split the ears of the ghost, or
do a frequency
not
thing.
to split the ears, but like do some kind of frequency thing
Okay.
to make the ghost like
so you're creating like
jarred.
this, you're making this like pitch this is awful when you're essentially using the radio and this metal thing to tune it to, right?
Mhm.
And this high pitch frequency. You guys can't even hear, but you start seeing your sister Candace just grabbing her ears in pain.
Now, would this bring in a different stat? I use body and spirit. Would this bring in mind?
So you were doing physical violent. So you're saying it should be violent at range or non-physical non-violent? I assume it's definitely violent, so it'd be violent at range.
Violent at range, probably.
So you can bring in mind.
Mind?
Just know that if you do that, I can also bring in another 46.
That's the trouble. Okay, I see. Fair enough. Then I'll keep the situation as is.
Okay.
10. Okay, so. I'll bring in. This is tough. Alright.
And obviously you don't have to respond to his. Only I have to respond to his raise. So you get to keep your dice for this.
It's a tough burn though.
Yeah, this is for this being 2 people on 1. This is actually a kind of rough one a little bit. I rolled decently.
Yeah.
It's 2 suck, but better than once.
I recommend just tossing something down.
Also, keep in mind, if you guys wanted to do so, you could use your relationship pool
Make a
to
new
attribute
relationship.
this to each other and add whatever you need to.
So you putting 5 down, you think?
Well, I was actually gonna go put consequence actually.
You can't on a raise, it's the only thing. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I'll put 5 down.
Okay. So in that case, what are you doing? You're doing the frequency thing, right? You're kind of like trying to split the ears with this frequency.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm trying to split the frequency of the. I'm trying to use like a frequency on using.
You're trying to get the resonance frequency of the ghost and knock it out of the people it's possessing.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the situation uncomfortable for the ghost so that the ghost feels the need to exit so that I can then try to catch the ghost.
All right. So it's going to respond. You put up 8. I'm going to respond to 4s. So as you do that, it kind of just rolls its eyes back, and you hear Candace going, "That was weird. What's going on?" It seems to be sheltering within her conscience now. So it's using her as a shield.
Women, am I right? Always harboring ghosts.
All right, my turn to raise.
Sometimes the best way to get rid of them, smoke out the lady bits.
True.
This is on the put 2 5s. So this is now for both of you guys. So as it kind of like reverts back into Candace, you then can finally see this like spectral being pop out of Candace, right? And it looks to both of you, and you see this gnarled, misshapen jaw, completely unhinged ghost as it just fades into like blinking into existence, blinking out of existence, just constantly trying to hold its form. And it looks, you kind of stop doing your tuning thing, frequency, and it goes, "Oh, that was painful."
It's painful to look at you, bud.
And it's going to just try to go through you, right, and make its way back towards Candace. So it's running, it's like flying through you and then going back towards Candace. So how do you respond to that, and how do you respond to that?
I'm going to freak out, first of all. Just go, "Oh God!" And then second of all, try and create some kind of telepathic strength to make it so that it's harder to get into her conscience.
Okay, so you're kind of just trying to put a barrier in place. Okay. Yeah, you can, if there's something else yeah. Is that already been rolled for you?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So
you block it?
Do I know this ghost? Have I encountered this ghost on other?
Yeah, I would say you've been tracking this one for, would say, the last 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know this ghost like
It did respond when it saw you, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It did respond when it saw me. So, like, do I know this ghost's name?
I believe I said it, didn't I? It was, oh my gosh, Archibald. Thank you.
Archibald?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Archibald. We could do this all day. And so I'm gonna roll for
The past.
We go way back.
we go way back. So that's actually 2d6.
You could also probably do this with your eyes closed.
Yeah, I probably could do it with my eyes closed. Alright, so
Archie.
oof, just not. Oh, what?
Archie likes that. Archie likes that a lot.
Oh.
Here's a question for Archie. Does he already know that Hamish will win?
The trait.
Yeah.
This ain't the first time. This is freaking what's his face with Gus Busters. Keeps
Yeah.
getting caught, Slimer, or whatever.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm just trying to throw things out.
No, I mean, yeah, it's something that he could have bought.
He already knows I'm gonna win. You are no.
I think the first time he's had a face.
D6. Right. Just like,
No, I need those.
Oh.
no, what I'm doing.
You can roll those.
You don't know what you're doing.
I already know how to win.
Look, it's not like we haven't played this system a million times. Jeez.
Okay.
Hey, those aren't bad.
That was a good roll.
I'll take a 5 and a 4.
Stop it.
Do you need me to?
No.
No.
Big old fat fingers.
You know what I
I'm
need?
asking if you need my tiny little doll fingers.
You know what I need?
What?
Taylor. Pants.
We'll show you a tailor. This way. Or tailor your
So
shoulder.
10 has been put up.
Yeah, all. 6 and a 4 as
2 and
well.
4?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah.
Who's gonna steal
So,
this cherry feet and-
Yeah, you blocked by putting up this like telekinetic barrier, kind of essentially keeping it at bay, and then for you, you're kind of like I'm gonna win. What do you kind of say? Are you just intimidating at this point with it, or?
Well, he's like he's gonna come charging around, and he's already expecting this, so he's just gonna like crank that frequency up a little bit more, just to make it even more like shrill for him.
As it goes to go through you, the ghost like splits in half around you and then reforms past you. It can't actually go through you because you split the frequency right at the right time.
Mm.
Just waiting for that move. Good job. Good. You guys both blocked that. Mary, it's your turn to raise now.
Okay, I'm going to dip the telepathy into my sister and try and bring her forward so that she can fight the good fight too.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. So you're
So
pulling on that relationship. You're pulling. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like, hey, don't let that fucker get back in your head. You're tough as nails. You're tougher than anybody here. Fight back. And so I'm gonna put 13.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
I'm
Okay.
trying to.
Yeah. That's a big move.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go for the consequence here. So I'm gonna go 6, 5, 2.
Kept with
So, obviously, in this situation, I don't really have to deal with the consequence. But we'll say it's taking the blow, right? So in this case, as you're talking to your sister, the ghost who's trying to reforming, it's like trying to like mentally possess your sister, and it's getting this fight back, and it can't. It's starting to lose more of its form. It's blinking faster now from existence. Yeah, very good. Typically, I would set those aside, but consequence is not important for this initial right. So I'm raising with 12. That's really the only combination I can do except for 4. So, which would have been a good counter, but oh well.
This is the final.
The final
here,
push,
essentially.
This is me trying to get some consequence going on here.
I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Yours is easy.
Absolutely.
So at this point, narratively, what's going on is the ghost is blinking faster and faster. It's now going to try to possess you. Essentially, is what it's trying to do. Okay, and you're put up. It's hoping you're focusing on your sister.
And I am.
So that's the consequence, right? Yeah, I love that. I love that. So you are able to kind of take the blow. It gets inside you for a little bit, and there's this uncomfortable feeling, right? However, that's all I can do. There's nothing I could possibly do to do this. So you're currently possessed, if you will, with a consequence of that, right? You, in this hand, you're next up to raise, so you can finish me off in one blow, right? So how do you get the possession out of Jasper?
I use as much, I'm surprised by the possession, but in the seconds I have left of my own free will, I make eye contact with you, Hamish, and you see as my fingers curl, as I use whatever consciousness I have left to give myself some telepathic barriers so that the connection isn't pure.
With the ghost.
Yeah. So that, you can still see there's, a fight
Mm-hmm.
that perhaps you can take advantage of.
Yeah, Hamish is gonna be like, he's like, gonna call it and be like, "Damn it, kid, you gotta think for yourself sometimes." And he's gonna kick out a a toaster looking thing.
Okay.
It's not actually a toaster, it's something else, and it's
it's
gonna pop open.
some kind of trap, right?
Some kind of trap that's gonna open up and suck in this.
It looks like this bear trap, essentially, right? This old time bear trap. And as the bear trap gets slid under the
An IP non-specific trap.
the nose, your body just responds, "I hate iron," and it just gets sucked out of your body, and it goes straight into the bear trap. Just closes, and you see this little pearl on the bear trap pedestal closed in.
And he's just gonna be like, been tracking that bastard for the past couple months.
Eat it.
The prophecy says he's an ugly son of a bitch.
That's just me being a chaos gremlin.
The second I have my free will again and I see that everything is over, I rush and embrace my sister.
And Hamish is just gonna like radio it into Jethro that the situation has been handled. Code 345 is now stagnant. He's gonna do all like the lingo that's basically just
Situation.
I was about to send you back up, but alright, if you got it done, then gosh, I was on my way. I was finishing my bagel.
You need to learn to get here faster.
Bagels come first now.
Jethro, you test me.
That's in the employee handbook.
I would know. I created it
I wrote that
500 years ago.
So we have some interesting stuff happening here. So you succeed. So you get a trade out of this, right?
I'm trying to think of what my trait is.
And I will give you a free relationship if you haven't already made one with each other, by the way, because you guys and your initial rights came together.
What is that?
It means you get to add a relationship as I think it's a D4 or is it a D6? I can't remember.
Oh, what are you
I
asking?
don't know. I have D4s in my unassigned, so
We'll say because it was such a hairy situation. Oh, we'll say because it was a success. It's a D6.
I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. If you're talking about the growth, because growth is create a D6 trait, relationship, or power.
Yeah, so we'll say just automatic a free D6 for helping each other out there. And that kind of starts a little bit of that pupil, like apprentice,
You're not in the force yet. It's like, right? You're not in.
No, this is supposed to be the trigger for you and perhaps Proxydelius to be like, you think you're going to grad school? That's cute.
Handled yourself pretty well out there, kid. I'm not gonna lie. You got spunk. We need that on the force.
It's been foreseen.
Candace turns to you. You did really good. You saved me.
I didn't go to school for this.
Maybe you could. And you could keep protecting us.
It's a scary business.
Oh, well, they'll scare the piss out of you.
That's not convincing.
Have I mentioned that DoGS provides a full tuition reimbursement program?
Oh, absolutely. Sold in one. Why do I sign up, sis?
Fucking unbelievable. This wasn't when I started.
Did you need to go to school there, young Hamish?
I don't need school. I got to learn it from the streets.
I agree.
Which translated to a much nicer pension, so it's fine.
Very cool. So you got that free relationship. We have the story of the first inklings you joining the dogs here. But we got some fallout to deal with, some consequences to deal with here.
I got a lot of consequences.
Have I told you? The behavior is gone. Oh shit. Well.
Well, in that case, sign me up promptly.
So for your fallout, because even with that last little possession, your still whole time was non-physical, non-violent. So these will all be D4.
Goddess Athena has much love for those of the academic standing.
I'm glad she agrees. Because I was going to do it either way. Okay, that's what I
May the ones be in your favor.
May the ones be in my favor, for fuck's sake. Well, I got the 8.
Oh, okay. You do have a 1.
I see 2 ones.
That's 2.
2 ones. So any ones, choose something from the growth list.
Did you get 1 per 1, or do you just get 1?
It is 1 total.
Any ones.
If you have it, okay.
If you have one, if you get one from the thing. Oh.
Yeah.
So you have a long-term consequence, but also a growth.
Balance.
Yeah, you could do it. Like, I mean, you could even go, like your relationship you just developed with Hamish.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a D4 because essentially it was kind of like you guys met, you guys stayed each other, but at the same point, your sister, you know, it's not a great first meeting, you know.
I actually think I'm gonna add a D6 to my telepathy
Okay, very cool.
because I used the shit out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then for the long-term consequence,
For a long-term consequence, could you take one of the relationships that you don't have a thing yet and just put that into a D4?
Yep, you could.
sure, I'll do that. I'll make it
Yeah.
15 for.
Yeah, absolutely works. All right, I think this is a good pause point for us to go get some food and stuff like that.
I didn't add a trait.
Son of a bitch, this is an awful pause point, John. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't think you cut that out either. I really liked it.
Okay, write down
I thought you added
1d6.
added to your.
You have a relationship with
You don't know what to
right.
do.
Okay.
I used the trait
You know what would be funny is pause for dramatic effect.
There's a contemplation going on there.
So good.
Don't threaten her with a good time.
That's what made it a good time. Oh,
You could
that's
also-
another good
Good.
one.
Alright, we have a good time. Because it was like, you were like, you go first. And so it was like...
Do you have academic?
I know the rules.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So I do
Full
have academic.
ride.
Full ride.
Yeah. The face you could say.
All these are so good. Okay. I think I think I can rule out pause for effect. I love it. But I think it's either don't threaten me with a good time or full ride.
I use the trait bright futures.
I think it's gonna be don't threaten me with a good time.
Okay. I can't wait to see how that comes out. That's gonna be interesting.
It's so long.
You can use 2 lines.
That also works for full ride.
I think don't threaten me with a good time could count for full ride.
Yeah, it does. They stack well. All right. Well, hey, I think that's a great pausing point real quick while we go get some food.
Food, I'm in.